In this short video, I'm going to give you a demo of the core features of Cite-Builder. These features are all available free of charge with the basic version, and of course also available with a premium subscription, along with a number of other great features that we'll cover in the premium demo video. So starting at the Cite-Builder homepage, to access the basic version we're going to click on the big blue basic button. What you see here are a number of categories or what we call rule sets that we can expand and navigate down to the citation rule that we want to use. So the first example I'm going to give you is when we want to cite a book. So I select books, and we're going to navigate down through authored books down to one author, single volume. So what you have here is a rule for citing an authored book, one author, single volume. So I'm going to enter in the information about the author and about the book that I need to include in the citation. So we've entered the information. Let's now click on the style that we want to use to create the citation. So I'm going to click on Chicago. I'm just going to scroll down here, and you can see what it's done is it's created three different formats of the citation: a footnote, a subsequent footnote, and the bibliography. You can see also it's included the italics, where that's important for the particular style that we're using. And what I can do with any of these, of course, I can just click on this clipboard icon, and that cuts this whole citation text, including the formatting, and puts it in my paste buffer, and I can paste it into my report or my document, my database, or wherever I'm going to use that citation. A few other things that you can do here. Let me just go back here. Obviously, if I now want to cite another page in this same book, I'm simply going to change that and then regenerate the citation. So you can now see it says page 102. If I'm not sure exactly which style I want to use, if I just hover, or which fields I need to enter, there's a couple of things I can do. If I look at SAG, I can see here I've got a first footnote, subsequent footnotes, and a bibliography, and I can see the fields that are going to be needed, and I get a rough idea of what I'm going to have to put in. But there's a much easier way of doing it, and what that is if you hit Shift and you click on the style, we will highlight the fields which are required, so they have a red border around them, and if they're optional for some of the formats, so they might be required only in, let's say, the bibliography, or only in the first footnote, then they'll have a dotted line around them. Let's pick a different one. Let's go back to Chicago. See, with Chicago we don't require the short title at all, but the addition and the page numbers are optional, and they're only used by one or two of the three formats that we have. And of course, if you enter in the information and you don't include something that you need, and then you click on the button, it'll tell you, and it'll tell you what you're missing, so you can go back and make that correction. And then click the button again, and there's the citation. Now, having done this citation, let's say I want to go back just up one level because I want to do another authored book. So I can go up one level. Here's all my citation rules for author books of different kinds, 2 or 3 authors. So you can go back one level, so I can step back up through the levels of my hierarchy, or alternatively, let me just go back down to single author again. I can just go back up to the top, and I can also, if I go to books, authored books again, I can also use the breadcrumbs up here, so I could go directly to books. Let's go to author books, 2 or 3 authors, I might go back to authored books or back to top level. So I can basically navigate around, once I know where things are in this hierarchy, I can navigate fairly quickly to the citation rule that I need. Now there are additional features within the premium subscription to navigate or to search for rules, but within the basic, the free version, you've got quite a lot of different ways of jumping around to find the rules that you need. Now let me give you another example. Citing a death certificate found online at Scotland's People. So here we're going to look at civil, births, marriages and deaths. We're going to go to the UK and Ireland. We're going to go to deaths, and we're going to go to death certificate from Scotland's People. Going to enter in the information I need. And here we've got three different formats. We've got Evidence Explained, Harvard and Strathclyde. We're going to click on Evidence Explained. Now as you can see, we've created the first footnote, subsequent footnotes and the bibliography. But let's just take a look at this first footnote format. Just look at how complex this is and how long it is. All the different punctuation that's required, italics in certain places, certain things in parentheses, certain things in quotes. Imagine if you had to figure all that out for yourself. So we've done all the heavy lifting for you. Let's go up to the top level. Let's look at another one. US Census on microfilm. So we're going to go to Censuses and Musters, United States. And then we've got the 1850 to 1870 US Federal Census on microfilm. Let's click that. So a couple more things to look at here. You may have noticed in some fields we actually have in sort of fainter grey text a little bit of help text. So particularly years, just to explain that we require the years to be entered in a 4-character year format. By the way, if the citation rule ever requires it to only be two digits, we'll handle that on our side. So you would enter it in as 4, and we will then put it into the appropriate format that's needed, whether it's 4 characters or 2. In this case, in the person of interest field, you enter in the given name and surname separately. And again, if the citation format requires it to be just first initial and surname, or surname comma given name space surname, whatever's required, we'll basically handle that on our side. So all you need to do is to enter in the name or given names and surname. What I wanted to show you here though is that for some rules we actually add some extra help text at the top here in this sort of fetching pinky purpley colour, and in this case we're giving you the NARA series numbers for each of those censuses. I'm going to show you one more example. Let's just jump back up to the top. We'll use the breadcrumbs this time, and we're going to go to criminal records. Especially in Australia, Australian convict records are very, very handy for genealogy. We plan to add more criminal and convict records as they're available and where they're of use to genealogists. If you have any requests, just let us know. admin@cite-builder.com. Okay, so here let's go down through, and what I wanted to show you here is under the formats. You see, in this particular case we don't have Chicago or Harvard or even Evidence Explained. We have two very specific formats for this citation source. We have the Tasmanian Archives and we have the University of Tasmania, because this particular resource, or they would prefer citations to be in their own citation format. So those are the ones that we've put in. So I hope that's been useful. This has been a relatively quick overview of the basic Cite-Builder functionality, which again, I'll remind you is free to use. So you just go to cite-builder.com and go to the basic option. You can use all these features free of charge. I would encourage you though to take a look at the premium feature demo video on the videos page, which you can see up here, or look at the full user guide. So again, it's here to see all the additional features that you would get with a premium subscription, which will really help you with your genealogy workflow. Thank you.